se om vi kan I start speaking Swedish again. Well, that's the problem when you do two channels, one in Swedish, one in English. So anyway, today is kind of nice weather. It's about 10-11 degrees and no wind. So I thought we work a little bit on the 4-post lift I have outside. I kind of want this be able to move up and down. It's easier to walk by here if I don't have to crawl on my knees getting under it every day. So let's see what I've done so far. So I open all the junction blocks kind of everywhere to see. I found one cable here that was cut, and also there was one that was loose up here, but I already tightened that. And this is just for the 24 volt power, because it's supposed to be a light, hand light hanging here, and also on the other side it's supposed to hang here. So that wire that goes up to the center jack here is just 24 volt. So I open up these two and also this one, and there's a bunch of solenoids in here for the shaker. You have a shaker here to check ball joints and tie rods and stuff. It's got a bunch of solenoids in here. And also I moved this plate. This plate slides, so I moved that so I can get up here, because it's the same here. You got a solenoid and some air stuff. Not really sure what it's for yet, but we're getting there. The big thing is, let's see so you don't get the sun in the eyes. You got some loose cables here that was damaged in the fire. So today I'm going to try to figure out what they'll go for. Do some measuring with the multimeter. And here's the junction box. It's got a couple of cables here, wires, but all the same color ones are marked with a number, and it's the same on the inside of the garage in the box there. And I do have a wire diagram for everything, so it's not going to be really difficult to figure out where it goes. But I'm going to start to see where all these wires go, especially this one, because this is probably a 220 feed somewhere, and the smaller ones are probably for some safety switches. So because I have power to it, not right now, but I mean I ran it up to this height last spring manually on the box in the garage, but I can't get it down because you need air and switches to release the safety locks. So let's figure out where these goes to first. I'm not going to film that when I'm running measuring cables around here. So I turn the camera on again when I figure out where it goes, and we can start hook it up in here. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. There. Now I got the loose ones here marked, so I know where they go. I haven't found any related problem to why it doesn't work. So I'm going to study the wire diagram and see if I come up with something. The only thing that's questionable is this one. It was on 21, 22 on in the connection box. But and this one I can't see for the light. Where is it? There. This one is cut in the back. I'll find out what that's for. And this is for the lights, the shaker and the light. And the big one here, that's for these lights that goes around the whole lift, front and back. But this one, where is it? This one, it's cut. So I gotta figure out what it's supposed to go to. They say the lift was working before he was in the fire, but before I clean everything up here, I want it the electrical fixed first. So I'm gonna go and study my wire diagram, see if I come up with something. I'll be back. Okay, so what have I found so far? Well, these are switches that sits on, there's 4 of them, sits on top of each pillar, and it's supposed to cut the power if one of the wires, the cables that lift it, let me show you here where it's not so sunny. You have cables in here, one in each pillar that lifts the lift, and the cables are, there's one hydraulic tube here that pulls, you can't see it now, but it pulls the cables, 2 of them, 1, 2, yeah, I think it's 2 of them. Anyway, so if the cable get too loose, these switches can feel that on top of the pillar, and they're supposed to cut the power, so nothing happens with the lift, falls down or anything. So I found out that at least this switch is not working properly. There's supposed to be continuity between these 2 wires when the switch is loose like this, but it's not. If I tap on the switch with the screwdriver, I get continuity in them. But this switch is broken anyway. It's missing the thing here that feels if the wires are too slow. And the 3 other switches, one of them, the other 3, there are 2 switches that are broken. So I'm not going to use them anyway. This was a safe thing because this lift was in a state inspection shop, so they need all this kind of safety stuff. So I'm not going to use these switches. So that means that if these 2 cables here, if I hook them together, you get continuity to the circuit board that's inside the garage. So I start with that and see if I can get it to work, because all the other wires here that are loose, they have nothing to do with the lift itself. It's some lights and stuff. I still gotta figure out this cut one, what it is, but it's probably nothing special. And this 21, 22, that's for lights too, and this was with the shaker and another light. So I'm gonna hook this together and see if we can get it to work. I'll be right back. Okay, I hooked up some temporary air. I turned the power on. So before I do any electrical diagnostic, let's see if we got any power to the buttons that push it up and down. This is exciting. See if that little cable or the little switches was the only thing that was problem with it. So let's go try it. Oh, keeping my fingers crossed that this is it. Well, you run the hydraulic pump to go up and you can hear the locks click click, but it won't go down. So let's see what that is. One of the connections on the down button is kind of corroded, so I'm gonna clean that up a little bit, see what we get. Check this out. Okay, that lock doesn't work, so we're gonna fix that. Awesome. Let me show you what the problem was. Hang on, I'm gonna take the camera off the tripod. You with me, guys? Like I said before, this lift was in a shop that caught on fire, so we got a little bit burned here, and the lid a little bit burned too. But I mean, the buttons work. So what was the problem? The power comes in here, and then I have a red wire that moves the power over to each switch, and this top red wire here was connected to the upper screw here, and in this switch is supposed to be continuity between this one and this one, same as this one. You see that one wire goes in here, it comes out here, so it's a continuity. I tested all the switch, and it turns out that this one didn't have a continuity between these two. So I moved that red wire to the lower one, so it's all the red ones goes together, and then it started working. So from the heat from the fire, this switch probably happened something inside the switch to fail the continuity between these two. I can run it like this, but I'm going to replace this switch anyway eventually. These are expensive. These switches are really expensive, so I'm not doing it now. So now it's working. The only thing, I gotta connect some wires there for the lights and run this hydraulic line and the power line here, but it's working. So there was two problems with it. This switch and also these switches that was on top. We got no continuity through them. So I'm gonna remove this switch and the wires. Don't need them. And man, I'm happy. It's working now. Now I can do the rest of it. Cool. Gotta clean up a little bit here so I can lower it all the way down. Awesome. I gotta connect the air to, it's supposed to be a filter up here, a water filter for the air. It's in the garage. Put that up and run the hydraulic and power lines and the air. And then the only things left then is clean it up and paint it. Thanks for watching, guys. Now I got the lift working. Bye bye. See you later.